Well, I think remarkable we've gone this long without talking about Jason Robertson. We got to Dennis Gurianov first, but I think I'd like to get a bit more of your thoughts on how Robertson is doing what he's doing. Because, Sheldon Keefe here talking about the Dallas Stars, lots of praise, but you're saying Robertson, maybe not the most fleet of foot, but, and then he went on to, with all the nice superlatives about his game. What do you see? How is he leading the NHL in scoring? How's he getting it done?
Yeah, Justin, it's a record for me to go this long without somebody asking me about
right, I'm sure.
Robo. Yes. Well, he's an absolute student of the game. Like I was talking to him the other day because it seems like after most shifts, if we go back with a shot of him on the bench, he's on the tablet like every single time. And he just consumes massive amounts of video with the goal of being better all the time, like all the time. And, so one thing I asked him, I said, well, what did you want to be better at this year? And he said, well, one of my big goals was to not get my shots blocked so much. And he went through all the stats and he had all the numbers from last year about the number of shots that he would have had if he was a smarter shooter and this and that. Then you watch him here in the opening 25 games and he doesn't get blocked a lot. He's got a little more patience, or maybe he just moves the angle of the puck a little bit and gets a shot through first and foremost. And if goalies don't see it, they don't stop it. He's very patient and accurate with that. And he plays with some really good players. Like Rope Hintz is one of the most underrated players, let alone centers in the league. And Pavelski's ageless and crafty. And they have unbelievable chemistry with one another. That being said, he has what now, an 11-point lead on the team and almost a dozen more goals than anybody else. So he's just had a very special start to the season. I keep waiting for, a game where he's not a threat. Even in the games where he hasn't scored, he's felt like he's been a threat. And you have to go all the way back to when they played back-to-back at Ottawa and in Boston. And that's the last time he didn't have a point in a game. And a lot of times his goals, like he can beat goaltenders in so many different ways. Most of it is with his wrist shot, and it's really crafty and very accurate, and he scores repeatedly. The consistency's been unbelievable.
What is it that Robertson's, when it comes to Pavelski, what is working for Pavelski that Robertson's taking such great advantage of? 4 years ago, Daryl, when you see the breakup of the San Jose Sharks, we've watched Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau go to different teams and kind of do the natural thing, and that's just fade off into the sunset.
Right.
This guy's going the other way.
Yeah, there's no slowdown. He had 3 primary assists in that rally against the Wild to get a point, just in the third period alone, and all 3 of them were nothing short of brilliant. And I think he's got a very calming effect, and he's such an intelligent player. And through osmosis, Robertson's absorbed some of that, and he had that anyway. But they play an excellent small game. When things get tight, and they just need to make a series of passes that are like 8 feet from one another with a little bit of movement, they do it. And Joe's been a terrific sort of relay guy. Rope can skate with the best of them in the league. He can fly, he can gallop. And so he kind of drives things for them. And a lot of times Joe can be the guy in neutral ice that just makes one little subtle, crafty play or at the blue line, and it gets them in and going. And then from there, with Rope's speed backing defenders off, and Robertson's skills and patience in his shot, it just all seems to mesh together. And they're all a threat to score. I mean, last year, Robertson scored 41, Hintz scored 37, and Joe scored 27. And they're doing sort of the same thing again this season. A few others are joining them in the let's carry the Dallas Stars goal scoring, which is nice, and that's why they're second in the league in goals right now. But that line still is the line that teams can't stop. I watch it night in and night out, and they cannot stop that threesome for a full 60 minutes. They just find a way to get something done.